To unpack this some more, let's bring in Joe Siracusa, an inaugural professor of global futures in the Faculty of Humanities at Curtin University in Perth, Australia. Professor, great to have you on the program as always. Why do you think Donald Trump has ordered these strikes at this particular time? Because there haven't been attacks by the Houthis on Red Sea shipping for several months now. Is Trump looking at this as a possible preemptive measure?
I believe he is. And good morning, by the way. Look, Trump has been planning this attack now for about a month. He's asked his military advisors to draw up some plans and to do some things he didn't think the Biden administration was doing. Biden was reaching out a little bit to the Houthis, but, you know, Trump doesn't regard the Houthis or even Yemen as a country. He regards the Houthis as pirates and rebels and terrorists. I mean, once you've identified your enemy like that, all the normal rules are off the table. So he's engaging them, and I think for two reasons. The Houthis are the last man standing in this neck of the woods, and that is after Hamas and Hezbollah were crippled a little bit. And I think he wants to send them a message. And look, you don't mess around with the United States Air Force and those planes launched from those aircraft carriers. I mean, this is the most lethal force in the United States. In my lifetime, I saw relentless war against Vietnam from the air. You do terrible damage. You don't actually win without boots on the ground. I mean, that's the corollary to all this. You want to finish people off, you have to go in, and that's not very pleasant. So I think Trump would like to put maximum pressure on the Houthis. And yes, as you mentioned in your previous package, this is a message to the Iranians. Trump doesn't really want to deal with Iran. He just wants them to take nuclear weapons off the table before the Israelis do it for him. And look, Trump's not the Lone Ranger here. Your other correspondent is correct. And that is, everybody's involved in this, Qataris and the Saudis and probably the Jordanians and everybody else. You can't have an attack like this without American planes launched from all these bases in the area. So we have one more time an enlargement of the war in the Middle East. This is a very dangerous situation for the United States trying to get out of these forever wars. You know, we're back in, you know, and things, when you get involved in the Middle East, other things don't happen. You take your eye off the ball on Europe, Asia, and of course, that pivot to the Pacific never happened because of American activity. But I think the Houthis are in for a very, very tough run.
You spoke there about these strikes sending a message to Iran. Given the somewhat unpredictable nature of the current U.S. president, do you believe that the Iranians would be concerned at this stage, not just with regards to their own security, but those of their proxies in Yemen?
Yeah, I think they would be. I mean, I think the Iranians would have to take this seriously. The Iranians have always taken this seriously. The problem is, do they have public support? I mean, do these Revolutionary Guards and the Ayatollah's leadership, do they have the commanding support of the Persian people? I don't know. Maybe we're working two tracks there. But look, the United States has been angling now for Iran for a while. They want these nuclear things off the table. And let me say something else. When I was in university, or after I just got out of university, we had that Iranian hostage crisis in Tehran, where Jimmy Carter was paralyzed for about 444 days trying to get those hostages back from Tehran. And in many, many ways, the United States, and this is the long-term military history going on in the Pentagon, they have unfinished business with Iran. They were sorry they let Iran off the hook in 1979, and they're not going to let them off the hook this time. I mean, Iran's going to have to come to the table some way, and they're going to have to get very clever about this. Yes, they can strike out. They could hit America's allies and friends. They could even blow up a bomb, you know, a shopping center in Houston, Texas. But the point is, this administration's going after them. And you're quite correct to point out that Trump doesn't want to get too deeply involved. What he wants to do, and what every American president has tried to do since the 1790s, is he's tried to get as involved as possible without being dragged in. So, you know, Trump wants it all the ways. You know, he wants to be able to conduct operations in the area, control events, but he doesn't want to drag Americans in, because the one thing that the American people will not tolerate from any president in the White House are those body bags returning to Maryland airports to be transported to Arlington Cemetery. that body bag business is over. Americans won't tolerate this. They'll tolerate this right up until the point where they have to commit ground troops somewhere along the way.
Professor Joe Siracusa, always good to get your views live to us there from Perth. Thank you very much.